How's it going, guys? Sky's Football here. Today I'm going to be doing a video on Stafford Rangers for a change. Something different to Premier League predictions, Champions League predictions, Europa League and FA Cup predictions. There's no more football on this weekend due to the upcoming international break, so I thought I'd just do something else this weekend. Today's video is going to be on. I'm going to be ranking. We're ranking non-league grounds from top to bottom that I have visited on away days with my local team, Stafford Rangers. I go to a few of the away. I don't go to too many. I tend to go to local ones and stuff. Between the Midlands and Cheshire, and obviously one in the Peak District. So right then, guys, so get straight into the video then. As recently, I think most of you Stafford Rangers fans will know, as I posted on my Stafford Rangers Facebook page already, that there's been a squad update from Matt Hill, that there has been a few players released. I'm not going to do it on this video. If you want to know which players have been released, go on to my post and you'll soon find out who's gone. And you should know who's left. There's be a few good names, few disappointments, but a few things that are okay, are actually okay. So right then, guys, so straight into the video then. There are 12 grounds, I think, 12 away grounds that I've visited, I think. So I'm going to give you 12 here. For starting from the bottom. The first one we're in. The first one is 12, and we start with Market Drayton. The Greenfield Sports Ground. I've visited here twice. We lost 1-0 and drew 1-1. Both of the games were in pre-season though. Well, the first time my experience of the ground was actually really good. Actually, it was on. I went there on the. After I left school on the last day in year 6, I did. I had the bar was really good, and I had delicious hot chocolate, cream and marshmallows. Nearly got knocked out of my hand due to the ball going into the stands though. When the ball went into the crowd though. The second time I went there, the pitch was bloody awful. I've seen a better Farmers Field pitch than that, and there was only me and one of my other mates in the bar, which was quite poor. This is one of the poorest grounds I have visited with Rangers. It was so bad for the reason why we only didn't win was because the manager wouldn't even risk putting the players out on the pitch. He wouldn't even risk it. So this is a very poor ground. If I would I ever go back there? If I don't have to go back there again, it won't really bother me. But I would go if it was just to support my local team, Rangers. No matter how bad the ground is, you go and support your team, no matter how bad it is. So right, on to 11th place now, which is Stonewall Delanians in Wellbeing Park in Yarnfield. It's only at the road from Stone the pub's in Stone, and it's in Yarnfield. It's really close for me to go. It was a midweek game, and we did win 3-0. We're quite lucky to win because they played quite well though. But this wasn't the greatest of grounds though. The clubhouse was freezing cold with no heating on. There wasn't any Pepsi or Coke, so I had to have a Yazoo milkshake instead. I like Yazoo milkshake, but I would have preferred a Coke because Coke, and when adults have alcohol, is more traditional at a football match. You know what I mean? There's no lights around the ground on the way down to the ground or on the way back. The toilets were easy to find, but the toilets were so rotten. And I was standing behind one of the goals. Right, it was loaded with ice on the ground, but it's funny. I knew that it was icy and stuff, but the whole ground wasn't icy, it was just one bit. The only good thing about the visit was seeing Rangers win and the car park actually being able to walk on though, even though it was dark. But so it's not really the greatest ground. Let me tell you now, the railway right between Stone Stafford to Stoke right runs right by but right behind the ground, and the ball went right over there on the hill. So somebody have to run and get it from the Ranger fans. So right, on to 10th place now, which is Newcastle Town, the Lyme Valley Stadium, which has got a cycling track around it, which originally what I thought was like a running track. I've only been there once, and that was in pre-season where we won 2-1, just about. I thought this was quite a boring ground, really. It was nothing special, really. The stand had really high steps, and the seats were wooden, really uncomfortable to sit on. As this ground had a cycling track around it, the view from the pitch was really hard to see, and to be able to watch the game as well. The food was decent though, couldn't fault that. I had some chips with sauce, which was spicy. I announced the sauce of blowing your ass off sauce though. The second time we had a game there, I didn't go as I wasn't too encouraged with my visit. Well, I couldn't really be asked to go really, because I couldn't get there either. Right, on the 9th place now, which is Sutton Coalfield Town. Well, central ground in Coles Lane. Well, I could definitely. If I haven't visited Newcastle Town, Stonewall Lanny and Market Drayton, this ground will probably be at the bottom actually. But I think for this ground, I think there are a lot worse grounds than this one though. When Rangers announced they were away at Sutton Coalfield in the FA Trophy, I was really excited to visit their ground, as he had so many good reports on the ground and there was a 3G pitch. We lost 2-1 in a terrible game of football between us both. Sadly, I was left very disappointed on the visit though. It wasn't due to the defeat at all. If it had been a good experience, even though it had a defeat, we'd have lost it. I wouldn't have minded too much. The pitch was horrible. It was good. That was actually an old 3G pitch. And I thought the Sutton Coalfield fans were a disgrace. The whole of the game, they kept on insulting our goalkeeper King again and started threatening him. So stewards had to get involved, and it was still going on when they were there. I'm telling you now, they weren't there for the love of their club. They were there just to cause trouble. I'm not implying that it was all their fans, as there are probably some good Sutton Coalfield fans out there. Yeah, I'm sorry on behalf of the ones that actually could tolerate themselves in the right way, but not many of them did though. The best highlight of the game was seeing a Sutton Coalfield fan shaking a baby rattle who was a part of the Sutton Coalfield Ultras Royal Band. They know there's a royal band. Do you think tequila they do? That's class, that is. Tequila. Right, on to 8th place now, which is Kidderminster Harriers, Agborough. When Rangers announced that we were away at a club a league higher than us in the FA Cup, I thought I would go, if you never know that we could cause an FA Cup upset. Well, we nearly did. The game ended 0-0, sending this game to a replay. This was a ground that a good ground that you would usually expect to see in the National League, if that's in the top division or the North or South one, which I did see. This was segregated as well, as that's what they tend to do in their league. The food was good. I had a hot dog, and it was the best one I've ever had. And I would suggest to anyone who goes on an away day to Kidderminster. Well, my dad, he had a small cottage pie. They even did cottage pie there as well. At the end of the game, it was a nightmare, as there was no directions to see you out of the ground. But apart from that, it was the ground was decent. And at the end of the game, the Rangers coach, right, they obviously brought a coach to Kidderminster, right, even though it's not too far away, right. the coach door wouldn't even open. Which is quite kind of weird, really. Right, to 7th place now, which is Micheloba Sports. Don Amatorina. I've been to this ground twice. Once on New Year's Day we lost 3-2. We're 2-0 at half time and lost 3-2. Like we do, bottle jobs all the time. And the second time I went there was on August Bank Holiday, where we lost 1-0, but that was a poor performance from both teams though. The penalty just decided the game. I thought if it was a decent ground, the hot dogs were the best, and the social club was fairly good. There were even tables outside behind the ground, they're outside behind the goal actually, with parasols at perfect when it's a really warm day, and you had a cricket club right next to the ground as well. When I visited the first time in January, there was no cricket going on though, so. But in August, September, the cricket season's still playing, isn't it? Well, one of the funny bits here was that when I was going to the toilet, I accidentally walked into one of the old player dressing rooms, and I couldn't find the toilets. In the end, I did though. Well, it was the referee that showed me where the toilets were. That's probably, I had to say, that's probably one referee I probably abused, probably. It's probably one that probably got abused by us fans. I know nothing bad to say about this ground, it's just a confusion on where the toilet was, but that's easily done, lol. It's easily done, isn't it? Next, on to 6th place now, which is Kids Grove, Hollingsworth Road. I've been to this ground once in the South Senior Cup semi-final. What a night that was to send us through to the final at Stoke, where we won 1-0. It was a midweek game on a Tuesday night. I thought this ground was good. There were 3 social bars. Well, I think there's only one open though. But that's enough though. Which you like to see to go in and have a drink. There's lots of seating in the ground with colour stands as well, with the seating in. And the food was good as well. I have nothing bad to say about this ground, and this is one I would recommend to people. The only bad thing was there wasn't many parking. The car park was mainly for officials or the away team, but even that's a challenge to get them in though. You have to park outside the neighbourhood. Well, at least there was somewhere to park. We're on to 5th place now, which is our arch nemesis rivals, Stafford Town. Keys Park, now known as the PRG Stadium, I think. I've been to this ground about 4 or 5 times, what you would expect me to do, because this is a derby. It's only 15 minutes away from my house. Pretty closer than going to Stafford, probably. And hence for our local rivals. We've only lost, since I've visited there, we've only lost once, and that was 2-1 on New Year's Day. So we've got a good record at Keys Park. Hate to say this is a Stafford fan with a pass and ride, with a rivalry against Enfield, that this ground is actually a good ground to go when there's a massive derby taking place. There are 2 bars in Keys Park. One is called the Chase Bar and the other is the Strikers Bar. To both of us says, whenever we play Hensford, we both have our own bars. The Strikers Bar and Hensford had the Chase Bar, the Chase Suite. Due to the house being built by the ground, there is not much parking now, like when there used to be, which is now letting the ground down massively. On to 4th place now, which is Russell Olympic, Dales Lane. I've been to this ground twice to watch Rangers. The first time we lost 1-0, Russell scored a penalty in the 4th minute and then just won. And the second time I went, we won 2-1. A Cole Perry volley or bicycle kick. So one time I went to an away game of Rangers, the game got called off when I got there though, that was really annoying, so we went to Chase Town instead. I've actually been there as a neutral spectator when Russell were playing Peterborough Sports, and it was 1-1. I think that the bar is really nice and the food is nice too. I reckon Kits with curry sauce, recommend just a curry sauce with some of the nice cheese rolls that they serve behind the bar as well. The ground's quite a nice, quite a kind of basic ground, and it was very clean, and they actually had a proper 3G pits and like some Coalfield. Now that the 3G pits have been installed, the spectator view has been raised up slightly, but you have still got a great view where you can actually see the game unlike Newcastle Town. The only bad thing about the ground is that the car park is awful. Apart from that, it's a good ground though. On to third place now, which is Nantwist Town, the Weaver Stadium. I've been there 3 times. Once when we won 3-0 under Kitch's last game, and we won 1-0 with securing Stafford Rangers staying up in the NPL for another season with Jake Charles' goal. Nearly Cuff making it 2-0 almost. And then Boxing Day we lost 2-1, 1-0 and Sam Coulson got sent off, and then they scored 2 goals in 5 minutes. It was disgraceful though, really. The bar at Nantwist was huge and the drinks were really nice. I also thought that the food was good. I would suggest the chips with curry sauce like at Russell. At that time I got curry sauce all down me, so I had to go to the toilets. I wouldn't say anything is bad about this ground. It's quite a nice clean ground and stuff. Except it always tends to kick off between 2 sets of fans, with a small minority of the Nantwist youth acting like brats. They make out that they go to every home and away game. They also think they're a massive ultras group, when really they're average as fans. But just because they go to every home and away game doesn't mean they're the nicest sets of fans though. Apart from that, nothing is bad about the ground though. Second now, which is Chase Town, the Scholars Ground. I've been there twice with Rangers, losing 1 and winning 2-1 twice. And I've also been there quite a few times as a neutral spectator, where I can't get to a Rangers away game in time, and when Rangers have no mats and the mats have been called off. I think that the fans are quite friendly, and I know some of them quite well. The soda bar is nice and the food is decent. I would suggest the chips to everyone. They are really warm and really nice to eat. The only bad thing about the food is the burgers are horrible. There is also 2 massive grass areas for kids to play football and take the balls to play with each other. Except I never take mine just in case someone steals it off me or I lose the ball. The only thing not so great about the ground is that the main car park is always full when I arrive, but the good thing is there is an additional car park around the back. Now on to the big bit next, which is first place, and I've gone for Buxton. Well, this is controversial, where some fans like it and some fans hate it. It's Silverlands, this ground is. The first time I visited there this season, the FA Cup, we won on penalties after the game ended 0-0, and we won on penalties, like I just said at the start. This season just got voided, so we hardly played any games. If we did in the FA Cup, though, second qualifying round. The Buxton stands for quality. They had a plastic blow-up trophy that you would use to blow up, representing it for the FA Cup. They had a flag where someone had to climb on the roof, and they had a chant called Andy Brownwig, which us Stafford fans thought it was Andy Bandy. We thought we felt it was never going to end. But it's good to see so much passion in non-league football matches, and the wider community get involved at that football club. I thought the ground service to walk on was really flat to me. It looked like it was kind of new and resurfaced. I thought that the bar was fantastic there. There was always a barman going around asking you if you wanted any more drinks or snacks, which I thought was a very professional job from them. The food was fantastic, and I would suggest it to everyone. One thing that was food fantastic, and I suggest it to everyone. One thing that will surprise a lot of people, which was they sold pizza, so you could order it and order it for half time, then collect it at half time. Which was bloody fantastic, and it was to die for. I'll suggest this to anyone. This is the best ground I have visited with Stafford Rangers. Apart from the parking outside the ground, because there wasn't really much really. Apart from that, everything's fine. So, right then guys, that will be the end of this video now. So if you did all enjoy this video, do give it a like, do subscribe to the channel, and also turn your notifications every time I make a video. Have a good one, guys. See you all around. Up the borough. Bye, guys.